It seems like I'm working backwards with taking a look at the more recent Evercade cartridges that have released. With my last one was the number 20 Megacat Collection 2, which is a pretty cool cartridge. Today, we're taking a look at number 19, which I feel is one of the most interesting choices for a licensed cart that I've seen yet on the Evercade. This is the Codemasters Collection 1. It has 17 classic Codemasters games in one cartridge. Classic may be the wrong word to use depending on how you want to look at it, but just like all releases for the Evercade, the game comes in a nice little case with a fairly thorough manual that goes over each game, little, information blurbs for each title and the controls and whatnot. Now, with 17 games in one cartridge for around the $20 price point, it might seem like you're getting a pretty good deal, but then after you boat it up, reality sets in. A lot of these games on this cartridge may be familiar to those who have seen videos on pretty much like any list of bad NES games or specific videos anyway. Many of the titles that are released on this cartridge were released through the Camerica name via the Aladdin deck enhancer for the NES. Now, I'm not saying this is all bad, but for sure, quantity over quality is the name of the game here. But overall, I still think it's a unique cartridge you may be interested in checking out. Despite the negative reviews a lot of these games have received in the past, they are still mostly playable, and they do have some enjoyment to be had to, a certain degree. There are a few standout titles that really grab my attention with this cartridge, like Cannon Fodder, really enjoy that one. Psycho Pinball was a pleasant surprise. Super Skid Marks, crazy name. Didn't know what to think, but like an RC Pro-Am type title. It was pretty fun. But the reason behind those titles being standouts to me is they have a bit more to them. They're more polished than most of these other early 90s titles that are on this cartridge. Most of these games here, they have problems. Not problems in that there are glitches or bugs hindering you from playing them. I mean, there could be, but I haven't noticed any. But more so, there's issues with floaty bad controls, poor hit detection, and just some really odd gameplay design choices. These games, they don't scream complete crap in my opinion, but they are mostly throwaway titles I don't think many will have nostalgia for, because they're just not memorable experiences in my opinion. But that's where some may see the charm here. A Codemasters Collection is something I didn't exactly expect to see on the Evercade, and they do continue to surprise me with all the different licenses that they get for new cartridges, so was an interesting choice here. This cart, it will have its fans due to specific games, I feel, but overall, this is going to be one of my least favorite cartridges. It has more games than most, but out of those included, I only liked maybe 3 to 4 of them, and can only see wanting to revisit maybe 1 or 2 of them from time to time. Really, most of the games here are just not that great in my opinion, for one reason or another. I mean, mostly just the way they play, the way they're designed. Boomerang Kid. I thought I was going to jump in the game, start throwing some boomerangs at some shit, and that didn't happen. I'm over there collecting boomerangs to leave the level, accidentally falling through platforms in many of these games. I mean, they can be played, but they're just not great. And there are a lot of titles from this era that just are not that great, and Codemasters is a company who produced quite a few of them, unfortunately. But as a company, Codemasters, they do have a long history as a developer. They still exist to this day. And, they're probably more well-known to non-retro gamers for many of their racing games like Dirt, Grid, and the F1 series. I'd be curious, though, to see if there's a Codemasters Collection 2 for the Evercade, as this collection seems to cover most of what they had to offer from the 8 and 16-bit era. I've gone through looking at lists, trying to find every game that Codemasters was involved in, and this seems not quite it, but almost. There's a few licensed titles that for sure I couldn't see being released on a cartridge like this. Codemasters probably can't like license them type of thing. So for the most part, this is pretty extensive as far as what they had to offer for that time period. Overall, though, it was an interesting experience playing these games, but a forgettable one. And for me, this cartridge is a pass, unless you have been bit by the gotta collect them all bug of buying every Evercade release to keep the number sequence in check on your shelf. I'm guilty of this. I own all the carts so far. Other than number 3, I can't find what I did with that one. I'm having a hard time finding a replacement, damn it. Some of these cartridges, man, they're becoming a bitch to find if you passed up on them. So I do see a lot of people just like, I just got to get them because if I don't get it now, they may not be gettable in the near future. Even some of these more recent release titles are a little harder to find because either companies like Amazon didn't foresee the demand and they didn't order enough of them, or whatever other issues are out there. But I have seen a lot of people still waiting for some of their cartridges to be shipped by some of these companies, and that's just unfortunate. But you know, I did talk to Evercade the other day, and they said, you know, there are restocks on a lot of these more recent cartridges, so don't fret. Don't go out there paying $50 for a cartridge that should only be like $20, $25, you know, or so, somewhere around there. So keep an eye out for that. A lot of these cartridges through the US. I think more so if you're in Europe, in the UK, there's a lot more availability out there. But in the US, it's a little limited. I think Video Game, what are they? Video Game Plus out there in Canada. I can't remember their exact name, but they've been selling cartridges as well. And I did get the previous 2 cartridges, the Worms cart and the Indie Heroes cart from them. I bought it from them. They ship it. They actually ship through USPS, like across the border. Got to me in just a couple days. Didn't have to pay extra shipping, or actually shipping was free. So that was pretty cool. They're always a place to keep an eye out, just in case you're looking for a cartridge. But yeah, I'm really fascinated with everything the Evercade's done. I don't want to get into a long rant about what they do and what this device is. I've done plenty of videos. I understand it's either for you or it's not for you. If you're trying to find out if it is for you and you're watching my videos, that makes sense. I appreciate it. If you're here just supporting me, everything I do, I appreciate that too. Really do appreciate all of you guys. I have a few more of these cartridges I want to do quick videos on, so keep an eye out for that. I'm looking forward to that versus system, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm really looking forward to. As soon as that comes out, man, the Evercade handheld, I may be retiring that for a bit, because I do prefer console gameplay over handhelds, but it is nice having that, swapping the cartridges around. That'll be pretty cool, though. That'll be pretty cool. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye!